Hola, mi familia. This will be the last theme clip that I'll be doing for a while. I'm not sure how long, but my plan is to. I have a list, and the list is growing. It's not necessarily finished yet, but it's a strong list as it stands. It's strong enough on its own. So, I come across new people, but I have a list of candidates that I would like to pursue activating and acquiring as operatives to rebuild the directive. And, when I feel as though I've been successful to some degree in this mission, I'll return and, take my rightful place as the director of this thing. But until then, Randy was appointed your director. I don't know where he is. I haven't talked to him in a little while. I don't know what's up with him. Honestly, I screwed up. I did something I should have been watching out for. I made a mistake and put some values into play that might actually cause for him to want to leave the initiative. And nothing directed at him. In fact, the problem stems in religion, as usual. Me being an anti-religious person and him having certain religious values involved in the influencing of his decisions. And I'll leave it at that, which speaks directly to the illness that I'm dealing with. I've dealt with illness my entire life, all kinds of illnesses. I've dealt with so many different ailments of my own in my own body. I've dealt with several addictions. I've dealt with pieces of me breaking down, and ultimately it all came back to that one fundamental thing, that kundalini impulse, that traversal of the energy through my system, moving through the chakras, moving through the engines, and ultimately telling the story of what I become. And it's been a hell of a fucking journey, but throughout it all, whilst I'm suffering from differing illnesses throughout the course of my life, for the most part, I still have certain addictions that I can't break, that that are I don't even want to say it. They're kind of flustering me. They're frightening me, honestly, and I need to get rid of them. I need to step up and beat that, and I need to put myself in a position where I can be an example for you guys, a better example, because though I'm doing what I can to fight here, and I'm trying to make an impression, I made a hell of an impression. I've done a hell of a job here. I'm astounded by what I've accomplished, honestly, and very happy with myself and proud of myself for it, but I should be doing more. I should be doing better. And I'm thinking it's largely because I'm not, this perfect example for people. So I've got to fight to make myself this perfect person to appease everybody, I guess. But, throughout the course of my life, I've been combating this with my mother. I fought her addiction and we won. And she's 10 years plus sober now from heroin. I fought with her addiction and we beat it together. And the remedies that we currently offer through philanthropy were a big part in that, took a big part in that. So, saved my mother's life, saved my life. She and I were living in a fucking house with no electricity and no running water for months, in the darkness, reading by fucking candlelight to keep my mind from dying out. Drinking myself half to death because I was an alcoholic. I was in such fucking pain from my body failing earlier and having so many different surgeries that caused damage to me in so many different ways that I was in such pain I could barely manage to live through a day. And then at the same time getting stuck when I was out of it, when I was homeless, had nowhere to stay, and I'm out in the street, and I'm staying most of the time spending with my father, working part-time at a fucking shop doing mechanics to try and make ends meet, working part-time at a shop, working as a fucking custodian for a school and Chase Bank, and working at fucking Burger King at the same time, all three of those jobs, and I didn't have enough money to get off the motherfucking street. And meanwhile, I'm having to pay out most of the money I do have to feed my father's addiction because he's an alcoholic, and I'm right there with him, so I can't say shit, but I can try and fight his illness, his mental illness, his these ideas that he has in his head. It all stems from getting the wrong ideas. All of these illnesses. And then finally, I get so beat down that I'm put in a fucking nursing home, and I run into my roommate who picks me up, and he dusts me off, he gives me a shot, he takes me in, gives me a place to stay, and he hooks me up with a fucking, gets me involved with the Red Cross to do training so that I can become an STNA and start working in an actual medical career. And, you know, that got fucked up, but it's still an option, it's still there, I'm still an STNA, and I'm fucking damn proud of that, and I'm very happy with that. It was the best time of my life, that training. One of the best times of my life, really. I can't wait to go back. I'm going to go back and work for physical therapy. Odd, considering that I'm psychological genius here, but I'm going to go and work for physical therapy because I want to. But it's helpful. I can talk to the people while I direct them, which directing ultimately is what I do best here, and I'm very happy with that. It's a great role that I've fallen into. I wish that I'm gonna find people that care enough to stick with it. My people dropped out and they failed, and regardless of whether it's life turmoils, you know, it's all gonna stem back from this initial illness. That what I was saying with my roommate is that he became an alcoholic now, and he started behaving exactly like my father, which my father was just this. You know, when I was growing up, my life was fucking spent hiding in the corner while this dude's kicking in the front door or the back door, throwing rocks through the windows, screaming outside, smashing up the cars, my grandmother and my mom's cars. You know, meanwhile, my mom's addicted to drugs, and I got into it. You know, I got into different drugs and shit. I got hooked for a little while on certain things, but not real things. Like I got hooked on weed, which isn't a big fucking deal, but it was at the time, you know, kind of. I mean, it held me back. It set me back. Uh, Not the weed. Not having weed set me back. That's the weed's never gonna hold you back, man. Marijuana is a safe and sound fucking substance. It ought to be used by anybody who wishes to. Same as gravity. But and these common and natural remedies can be used to heal these illnesses. Can use to be heal psychological illnesses. I can tell you this much: if I were able to offer my students kratom as an incentive to work, you know, in the program, they'd move a hell of a lot faster. They'd be a hell of a lot more interested because they'd feel better about it. Of course, it makes you feel good. It does, but I mean, I guess that's just an idea. Maybe I think everybody should be using these natural remedies to enhance their performance. That's my beat. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. It's not addictive. It's not harmful. It improves your ability to perform, to be a better human, and it provides the incentive to go ahead and to practice that, to train in it, to make yourself better, to be more excellent. And so, you know, I'm hip to that. But you know, I grew up like that, and when my father was with us before my mom divorced him, you know, it was fucking, if I slipped up, if I like used a curse word or something, my dad would, you know, hit me, beat me up a bit, pretty bad, and of course my grandmother would lose her shit because that's happening, and she'd be all crazy and wacky, which she had like schizophrenia too, and then she had emphysema, and then she had, you know, several other issues and broken hip and just everything down the line. She got pretty bad. Heart condition is what eventually put a stop to her. And my mom going through, you know, of course my father would, you know, hurt my mom too, and then that's how I grew up, and I have all kinds of traumas because of that. You know, traumas that when somebody, and I can speak to like PTSD, to like post traumatic stress disorder. This is a very real thing. Anybody who doesn't know what it is hasn't experienced it. You have triggers that get set up, and these triggers are not like, it's not like somebody who goes to war is just gonna be fucking trigger a flashback because of loud noises or because of a bang. It has to be in a certain context. It's these triggers exist in a certain context, or context sensitive parameters, and it's like, if somebody knocks shit around, makes a noise, doesn't bother me. But if somebody does it in anger, you can feel that. It resounds. That energy moves through the air. It's there. especially if you're sensitive to it, which some people are sensitive to it. A lot of people who claim to be sensitive to it are. A lot of people who claim to be sensitive to it are scam artists. If they're charging you money for something, chances are they're bullshit. I promise you. Anybody who's a master at this sort, anybody who's a mastered spotter is not going to charge you. They know that this is the freest fucking thing that ever existed. Nobody's going to put a charge to you for giving you what you deserve naturally. But you can make yourself sensitive to these things, and you become sensitive to these things via empathy, by learning how to care about people, by putting yourself in these situations, by being, in a shit life, by being fucking homeless, by being addicted, by getting through it, overcoming those challenges. You realize how difficult it actually is, and what it's worth. And then that gives you the empathy that's required to make that connection with the world, that allows for you to get sensitive to things like anger in the air. And when you feel that, it triggers that. And like I said, my roommate, he behaves exactly like my father now. He gets drunk every day, wakes up, first thing he does is drink, and he gets mad about something, gets mad because he can't open the refrigerator properly or something. And I understand he's pissed off at me because I haven't had work in a little while. But, I mean, that's not really... I'm in a position where the last 3 jobs that I had ended under fucking superficial bullshit reasoning that had to do with personal objections with my employer, my management supervisor. That it doesn't really sit well on a resume. It doesn't read well to potential employers. So, you know, maybe you can nail the interview and get it just dead right and fucking get lucky, but chances are somebody else is going to have a foot in the door. My roommate, he doesn't understand. He's been in the same job for over a decade. He has no fucking idea what the climate's like. That, if you don't have a foot in the door, you're not getting in. If somebody's not putting your foot in the door, you're not getting in. And if you're not the person with the foot in the door, then somebody else is, that's for sure. And he doesn't understand that. He thinks that it's just everything's hunky-dory. You should be able to walk out and get a fucking job any day you want to. It's not like that. It doesn't work like that. Fortunately, I have family getting me into a good place now. I'm working on getting my driver's license. I got my temps now. I'm doing pretty well with that. It's going to be awesome. I love driving. It's fun. I never even thought about doing it before this, but it's an excellent experience, and it's good to have under my belt. I'm very happy with that. So, I mean, bottom line, fuck him, really. I'm sorry, Richard, if you watch this, but I'm fighting here. I'm fighting to build a future. I'm fighting to help other people. I'm fighting to make good things happen, and I'm fighting for that job. And I'm doing all of this at the same time. I'm juggling every fucking thing I can. I sleep 2 hours in 3 days, and I work consistently the rest of it, consistently working every passing second, trying to fit everything I can and stretching myself as thin as I fucking can. So if you're gonna fucking throw temper tantrums over because I can't get my driving license any quicker than I am, too fucking bad for you. I'm sorry. I am. I really am. I wish it were working faster. I'm trying to make it work faster. I'm doing the best that I can. But in so far as concerns personality, my roommate, Richard, he has a personality disorder. He doesn't realize it. He doesn't care to. He has that cognitive dissonance is going to be at the base of everything. Any psychological disorder that anybody has, that cognitive dissonance is at the base, reinforcing it. That's what makes crazy people think that they are sane. Cognitive dissonance. And so that's what I'm fighting ultimately. That's what I'm fighting. I'm battling myself against the entire world, trying to cure that phantom fucking reality. That's where the divide comes into play, at the root of all the catalyst events, where that divide, and it's not the divide between religion and atheism. That's a side effect of it. That's an illusory component. It's the divide. It's a break from reality that everybody is experiencing. This sheer break from what is real and what is actually happening and what actually really matters, which is our relationships to each other. Nothing else matters. Only our relationships. My roommate, he doesn't understand that. He saved my life when I was homeless. He got me off the street. The purpose was for me to repay him. He doesn't understand that karma comes into play. He has no understanding of this. He doesn't want to be of the understanding that there are actually higher forces in play. He has issues with his parents that cause for him to be somewhat of an atheist, at the very least an agnostic, and he doesn't have any relationship to the world or to any higher entity. He doesn't believe that that's it greater. When I say higher entity, that's a fucking paraphrase. That's a parentheses. It's not higher. It is you. It's active in and through you. It is what you are. Your identity, your personality that's created by your brain and your nervous system, that's an illusion. That's molds the cosmic consciousness into who you are, makes you believe that you are who you are, separate from it. And that's where the break from reality comes in, because now in this day and age it's rare to find somebody who remembers that we have that connection. Everybody is lost in these fantasies. And my roommate, he doesn't understand that there's a destiny in play here, that he has a very serious issue, a very serious problem, and this alcoholism is reinforcing it, making it worse and worse and worse. And he wants to make everything as negative as he possibly can. It's what he's like fighting to make things worse than they are, fighting to destroy any positivity or any influence toward making things better. He just wants it to get worse, downhill. He wants everything to be bad. He wants to be victimized. That's his. He wants to be a victim here, play victim. He doesn't want to fight to make things better. He doesn't want to, back me on my play and try to assist me in being positive about this or in anything really. He wants to put me down. He wants to put the world down. He wants to put everything down, meanwhile putting himself down in the process. And he can't get out of that. He can't break that. And I'm here specifically equipped with the values to cure that specific problem. That's what I've trained for my entire life, and he doesn't understand that I'm here to help him and that he can benefit from that. And now he's on the verge of making me have to give up and walk away, just like I had to do with my father, to give up and walk away from my responsibility, to give up and never be able to repay the debt that I have as a human person, this debt that he saved my life, and I want to repay him for that. I need to repay him for that by helping him get out of the fucking madness, out of the rut, out of the hole that he's in as a person in reality. And he's fighting to take that away from me by forcing me to give up and walk away. So, but I'm not giving up on the initiative. I'm never going to give up on that. I'm fighting to rebuild the directive, and I'm going to be back. But until then, just as it goes with this kind of an illness, with cognitive dissonance itself and any other illness really, illness is going to remain the theme until somebody fixes it. Somebody step up and give us a new theme. Until then, it remains, because I got to go. I have to make this work. I have to fight to make this happen faster. I know you guys don't realize the importance of what we're trying to do. Perhaps some of you don't even realize what we are trying to do. But get with the program, and I will tell you, I will show you. You'll see. A lot of you I've helped personally. A whole hell of a lot of you I've personally helped out of holes and ruts in your lives. I've helped you get over illnesses of this sort. I've helped some of you break free of cognitive dissonance. I've helped some of you become more excellent people. You know what this is about. You know what we're doing. You know what I'm capable of doing. You know what you're capable of doing. I need you guys to step up and make it happen. I need you guys to step up and show the world what it can be. I came to see you fly. Let's make it happen. Love you guys. Kila Salai. Terve Uni Siai Namaste.